Pair PEO is what I knew I was going to do when I grew up and was ready to make that leap. I had made some passive investments into stupid ventures. I was in a smoothie company here in Charlotte. I was still a W-2 in my corporate job. And I attribute a lot of this is kind of like to use a drug analogy, like it's a bit of a gateway drug where like you have this itch that you know you can't keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing forever and continue to fake enthusiasm and all that good stuff and consuming Kool-Aid that you have no desire to drink. So like part of it was just trying to test out this entrepreneurial itch and allow myself to believe that I could pun intended, scratch it and be able to see, okay, well, this is something I could do and see how this works out. Like a bit of a case study on my own gumption, if you will, without having the parachute completely disattached. So like I'd say like my investment in most of the things that I was doing, I was building up entrepreneurial communities, networking groups, stuff like that, because I wanted the community around me. I came from Ohio. I'd been here for like 4 years whenever I was in the position to try to start this company. So I knew that the more allies, the more friends, the more people that I had in my circle, the less lonely this leap was going to feel. Now, obviously, the pandemic made it abundantly lonely when it came to just like the face-to-face stuff that really juiced me up and intrinsically motivated me and connecting good people and all the fun things that kind of come from that. But it was a paramount piece of my puzzle that I needed to have these who's around me, even though we weren't going to create immediate impact together, but I started the company with a good friend that did all my taxes, a good friend that did all my legal, a good friend that did all my banking. Like a lot of my decisions, my who's were friends that were just helping me get to a spot where I had it off the ground, which is an amazing lift for the amount of decisions that an entrepreneur has to make to actually start. There's so many companies that don't start because they can't come up with an effing name, let,
True.
let alone all those other things.
That's true. Yeah, it's a decision overload. But so like the with the investment, like you mentioned, that was like your gateway drug, but that had to happen in order for you to then be able to be ready to take that next leap, right? Like if you didn't do that, do you think things would have been different for you?
It's probably just a delayed cliff,
Yeah.
like everything else. I think it would have just caused more months, more quarters, more years to potentially
Okay.
go on before I made this jump. And every single person that makes this jump, 100% without fail, says that they would have wished they did it 2 years earlier,
Yeah.
which is my call to action to everybody that's sitting there saying I should do this. Like it's and I honestly like someone like me that will literally welcome them into this and help them in any way that I can. And I think there's a lot of my mentality out there, the people that have launched their companies and understand that an abundance mindset in this space is the only way to operate given the market share of our industry. So there's a lot of people that want to support this step, this leap that people are currently not making.
Yeah. And that's a really good mindset to have. Like like speaking things into existence and then just having the positivity of like there's an abundance like that's and then just wanting to like mentor people and help them. I think that's huge. And I think that's good karma. That I believe in karma, and I think that comes
Well,
back
this
around.
industry is going to be like every other industry. Like 10 years from now, there's going to be a lot of consolidations. There's going to be a lot of mergers. There's going to be a lot of one plus one equals fours in our space. And like the more of those people and these mindsets that are in our ecosystem, the more available those strategic partnerships are going to be. So part of it is selfish. Like I want people betting on themselves because ultimately there's going to be companies that I'm going to want to be a part of and that they're going to want to be a part of me. And if they don't exist right now, it's an impossibility. But,
Right.
if in future state, if there's 100 times the competitors in the space, like there's going to be those types of partnerships that'll be readily available to make with the right people, with the right mindset that have similar enough visions to be able to execute better together.
Yeah. And be a part of something, yeah, bigger too.
Bigger, right? As you
Um,
can imagine, like our company is a Charlotte, North Carolina
yeah.
company, and it's been largely built on the brands of our people that are here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, like, we have barely touched a ounce of the addressable market across the country, across the globe, with how this industry is kind of globalizing. So, like, that's where I feel like anything other than an abundance mindset is kind of inappropriate for where the industry currently is.
Yeah. Because if you have that opportunity to be like other companies come together, then that's a force that's doing some positive things with
Right. The reach is
the
getting wider and more
yeah.
consistent, more abundant.